Hello friends, and welcome to another figure study where we are appreciating the form in Transformers. My original plan was to do a video on a completely different figure, but I recently got my hands on Cybertron Optimus Prime here, and what can I say, I felt the need to jump him ahead. Not that any of you need me to tell you this, but this figure is awesome. Now I will say I had to get this guy used because it's an older toy, and because I got him used, he didn't come with the extra gun piece that sticks off here or the missiles. Also, he's missing his matrix. I'm not too broken up about any of that missing, honestly, but just letting you know that's what to expect. I won't be taking a look at those particular accessories because I don't have those particular accessories, and that's okay. So, yes, this thing is just, you probably don't need me to tell you this because this is an old toy and everyone watching this probably already has this or has had it at one point, but this thing is freaking cool. Not just aesthetically, this is just a fun toy to play with. I mentioned on Twitter that, they just don't make them like this anymore, and it sounds like a weird, overly nostalgic, rose-tinted goggles kind of thing, but I've never owned this before. This is the first time I've ever touched Cybertron Optimus Prime. I've only ever seen a couple of videos on it, notably from TJ Omega's Top 10 Toys of the Decade and MGo's review of this guy. And, he looked cool, but I never actually messed with the toy myself. And now that I have, it's just, this is a really cool toy. But we're here to talk about the aesthetics. Yes, gotta stay focused. So, the aesthetics. Looks really cool. This is a really neat truck that looks really derpy if you don't have all of the added stuff on top of it. But it is very cool just overall. It has a nice shape to it. There's this kind of big old gap right in the side there, but when you're looking at it from most angles, it's not immediately noticeable. And it's, typical Optimus Prime red and blue, but there is just, it's a nice overall shape. It's a bulky looking truck. And then as far as the coloring goes, there's not a ton of coloring on the back here, but there are just this nice bit of silver here and here. And they painted the sort of ladder that is, it's a fire truck ladder with a giant gun on it. So, okay, sure. But, they did paint that. And they painted the wheels, and it's this really neat kind of coppery color. I really dig that. Yeah, so the coloring is good, although a bit sparse on this part of it. And you can kind of see a little bit in there, but we'll be dealing with that more once the truck is unequipped. And then moving up to the front here, it's a little bit more color breakup, especially right in the front. And that's where it looks really cool. I dig the sort of almost, it's futuristic, but it also, just because the windows are so small, it almost makes the truck look huge. And that's a pretty neat thing. Another thing I pointed out on Twitter that I thought was really funny, both because of the fact that the truck is sort of this, long, narrow truck. You've got that kind of shape, and then you've got the robot mode hands that function as the grill or part of the grill. But because of where they're positioned, you can still open them. So you can you can do that. And yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, no, this is a really, really cool looking truck. I do like it very much. I think it's actually pretty clever how these side windows hinge forward to end up becoming the chest of the robot mode. The only thing that really kind of bugs me about this truck mode, aside from the fact that it looks super anemic when it doesn't have all this stuff attached to it, why? Why? I guess looking at the way this is built, they probably, I don't know. I feel like they could have put a little door or something there that would cover this up, but I guess they just didn't feel it necessary. But yeah, it's just a little bit annoying that the robot head is sticking up right there. So before I start stripping stuff off of him to show the sort of base truck mode, let's get him moved over a little bit. So we can, this is going to be tricky. So we can do a size comparison. And there he is with an assortment of Titan's Return stuff and Samus, and he dwarfs them. If we Move them forward a little bit here. You can see, like, that is a very large truck. Very large. Very, very large. And I'll be doing, like, side-by-side stuff once I strip this guy down a little bit. It's just he's too bulky to do that right now. Alright, so step one, just gonna peel this off here. Come on. Oh, no, just grabbing the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then this just gonna put off to the side for now. And this is sort of like what I would consider the more basic truck mode, where you still have these bits attached. And this is okay. These kind of help to fill this out a little bit, and you can flip them out as guns or rotate them back. And it does make his truck mode look a little bit on the kind of unfortunately skinny side, but it's still relatively okay with these attached. But pop these off. And that's unfortunate. As just a standalone truck, this isn't great. Also, it is kind of a shame that they didn't bother to paint the wheels here. I mean, I know these wheels are covered up when he's got all the attachments on, but these are very, very visible in robot mode, and it's a little disappointing. Yeah, if this were his only vehicle mode, like if he didn't come with all that added stuff, I would actually kind of hate this, because this is just, it's just weird, and he's got this like kind of flatbed thing going on that's not really flat, because it's got these little toes that are sticking up that are not well hidden at all. But thankfully you can hide a lot of the unfortunate stuff with all the added bits that bulk him out a lot more. And now that the bulkiness is out of the way, you can get a slightly better idea of just how big this guy is. It's pretty set. Freaking. So yeah, you can see he's pretty big even in his base truck mode, or at least long. And here he is with the Deluxe and Samus. So yeah, he's still technically big, but without that added bulk, he just looks kind of derpy. Alright, so gonna move on to robot mode, but I do want to say I am aware that he has his flight mode, where you just kind of fold out parts of the thing to turn him into like a jet, but no. It's okay, but don't look at me like that. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll do it. You know I spoil you. So there is his flight mode, which, to lift up the camera here so you can kind of get a better look at it, but yeah, it's a truck with... it's a long truck with a wide wingspan, and it's okay, but it's just kind of... it seems unnecessary, especially because it takes up so much space, both this way and this way. So yeah, there's his flight mode. Okay, get this stuff off of him again. All right, back to basics. So yeah, there's the really skinny regular truck mode again, and now we will do robot mode. All right, and here is Cybertron Optimus Prime's base robot mode, and it's fine. I mean, as far as base robot modes go, it's definitely not the worst I've seen from older lines, but he's a little bit on the weirdly proportioned side. Like, his legs just look kind of short and stumpy, and there's also the fact that were we to lift this up, you'd see his legs go up kind of really high, like awkwardly high. I mean, thankfully with the little plate down there, it kind of hides that fact, but yeah, that makes him look even weirder. And I mean, he's overall, like, from here up, he's neat. Like, I do like the bulkier chest and the truck cab split for the shoulders there. And he's got these large, beefy gauntlets for hands. And like, the legs themselves look fine. it's just, when taken as a whole, these don't quite match with this in terms of just overall shape. There's a lot more interesting stuff going on with the shape and the silhouette and the details up here than down here. It is interesting how the what were the side windows when they come in to make the front, like, these windows are totally different looking than the windows for the cab, but then you still have this white detail and what's sort of like a fake grille going on there that sort of mimic the front of the cab anyway. Not entirely sure if that's cheating or if that's animation accurate, so I don't know, but it's interesting. I mean, color-wise, I think it works. Like, I really do like this dark blue that they've got going for the windows here, and like you get to see that sort of translucent blue repeated a lot throughout the shoulders and chest, and then just like the red and white are also nice throughout. It's just those stumpy legs. And I also feel like I kind of wish that there was a little bit of detail here in the shins. Because, like, yeah, you've got the painted bits in the knees, which is nice, but it just, I feel like that would help bring a little bit more visual interest into his lower legs. And then there's his face. I am not a fan of the face. I don't like the face. I don't like the mouth. I don't like the fact that he's got this weird kind of nose guard thing. I like the helmet itself, though. Like, this is a very nice boxy anime robot kind of look with like the little vent things in the front there that are painted yellow, and this really nice silver head crest and all that. And yeah, I know you can kind of get rid of the mouth problem, which I do very much appreciate. Just flick that switch down and do it from the front so you can actually see what's happening here. Which, I'm doing this like people haven't already seen this done a million times, but there we go. Come on. There we go. And that, it's very easy to knock over. That is much, much nicer. I definitely prefer the faceplate. The only problem is, because of the way this switch works, when you push the head back down, it will automatically push the switch back in, or switch the lever. It automatically pushes that lever back in so that when you pop the head back up, the faceplate's down again. It's fine. Come on. There we go. It's just, I'm not really into that overall kind of face for just the base robot mode. But I like that there are options. And oh boy, does this guy have options, which we will get into in a moment. But first, there is the size comparison. So you can see he is, even though he's a little bit on the stumpy looking side, he is not a short robot at all. He's, I guess, a little bit smaller than leader class, current leader class, but he's old school leader class, so that is to be expected, I suppose. But yeah, he's not a tiny fellow. And he is about to get even less tiny in a minute. That's a handful of things that bug me about this guy that aren't aesthetic related. It's the fact that the head, it's really easy to bump it so it goes down, and this chest does not like to stay together. Okay, so that is the base robot mode. Now on to the fun and even larger stuff. This is why I love Cybertron Optimus Prime. This is freaking amazing. I mean, yeah, it's an older toy, so there's not as much articulation, but just everything about this looks amazing. I love all of this. All of this. Even the legs. The legs, now they look much nicer, much better proportioned, bulkier. You've got the guns that kind of fill out the sides of the legs a little bit. And if you really wanted, you could get this out of the way here. If you really wanted, you could also flip them up to have them fire from the side there, but to be honest, I personally prefer to just leave it down like that because I prefer how it bulks out the leg. But yeah, this is just an incredible looking figure. He's not gripping the guns, but it looks like he is just because of the way that everything kind of lines up. And that, like, just the giant underslung gun look is really cool. The inverted wings, I really like that silhouette. Just, that's really, really nice with the wings that are just kind of going up like that. Let's angle this up so you can make sure we get all that in shot. The just like the neat kind of side details for the truck kind of enhance a little bit. And the wheels there, obviously this is why those wheels were painted, because it'd be much more noticeable if they weren't painted in this mode. And it's just, it looks so great. And I love how the wings kind of just make his shoulders look even bigger. It's just so cool. And it's really clever too, how he's got this kind of big bulk on his back, like this red piece here, that it's like, yeah, it kind of gives him a bit of a hunch, but it's a hunch that works, just in conjunction with the wings and everything. Plus, it gives his arms a place to hide in if you have the, was it Leo Breaker or Leo Prime, whatever it is, that can turn into a really weird-looking arm. But it's neat, like the fact that they've even considered that, the fact that you could, like, fold up the arm and tuck it into that backpack and you don't change anything about, like, the overall shape of things. It's just, like, it just tucks into the backpack, and that's really, really great. This thing just looks so amazing, and even from the back, that looks cool, because there's just all this nice molded detail on the inside here. This is just a spectacular robot mode. Bring it up a little more, because there's that face, which is the same face, and you could do this with the regular robot mode as well, but just having these kind of flare out to make the head look a little bit bigger, flipping up the faceplate, that looks really neat. Another thing that I kind of, depending on how I'm feeling, that I like to do sometimes is flare this out, because by opening up that chest, it adds a little bit more visual interest kind of going along here. These panels cover up the black shoulder straps, so to speak, and it just creates this nice kind of visual line going up the center with the gray from the pelvis area up to the matrix chamber. And yeah, it's neat, and I love how many display options you have with this guy, because he's got the armor bits and the head stuff and the fact that you could, like, mess with the chest and whatnot. This is just a supremely cool, just amazingly cool figure. Get him off to the side here, because you know what's coming. So here he is with his, not buddies, because Titan's Return is a completely different line, but there you can see he's quite big when he's completely combined up and has his added height. That is a big dude. Oh, but we're not done. I am enamored enough with this guy that I'm going to do some more size comparisons, just because. There he is with Cybertron Primus. So, not as big as Primus, but still really big. He's still quite the large fellow. And lastly, for now, here he is with Legends Ultra Magnus with the X2 upgrade and the Perfect Effect upgrade. Oh, I cannot properly convey, despite repeating myself over and over again, I cannot properly convey just how fantastic this is. I am super glad I was able to find him on eBay for a reasonable price. This guy is not currently cheap because he's been off the market for quite some time, but, you know, managed to find an eBay seller that was selling them for a really good price without the gun or the missiles or the matrix, and since I didn't care enough about any of those missing, it doesn't bother me at all, so yeah, I'd call it a win. This is so much worth tracking down. I know I'm late to the party, but wow. At this point, I'm not entirely sure if there's anything else I can say about this guy, so I think that is going to do it. Before I go, I would like to ask you all, have any of you had, or do you still have, Cybertron Optimus Prime at this point? What are your thoughts? Do you think he's amazing as everyone seems to? Is he disappointing to you for some reason? How do you prefer to display him? Let me know. I'm curious. But that is going to do it. So, that has been my look at Cybertron Optimus Prime. Oh, so great. So great. Thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye. Or is it? Teaser, teaser.